Hello and welcome to Culture on I-24 News. I'm Oded Grober. Thank you so much for joining me. Today on our program, we'll have Meir Fenigstein, the director of the Israeli Film Festival in Los Angeles, here in the studio. An inflatable sculpture caused some controversy in Paris. And how a comedy show in Nazareth reveals some serious truths. We begin with the news of fashion designer Oscar de la Renta, who died on Monday at the age of 82. Born in the Dominican Republic, de la Renta's career spanned 6 decades in 3 continents. He dressed 4 first ladies and countless Hollywood stars, such as Sarah Jessica Parker, Penelope Cruz, and Anne Hathaway. Most recently, he designed the wedding gown for Amal Alamuddin when she married George Clooney. De la Renta designed both ready-to-wear and haute couture, working for fashion houses such as Lavnin, Balamin, and Arden. In 1967 and 68, De la Renta won the American Fashion Critics Award and was inducted into its Hall of Fame in 1973. Only last week, De la Renta named his successor at his namesake fashion house, British designer Peter Copping, who has very stylish shoes to fill. The Israeli Film Festival in Los Angeles aims to showcase Israeli cinema and present the best Israeli film of the year to the city's cinephiles, and there are a lot of them. It will open for the 28th year on October 23rd. I'm very happy to have Meir Fenigstein, the founder and director of the festival, here in the studio to tell us all about it. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah. My pleasure.
So what can we expect in this year's festival? What are some of the highlights?
First of all, this was a great year for Israeli films.
Certainly.
The rumor is already out there, and we're going to show. First of all, we're going to start on October 23rd, very soon, and our opening night film is a film called Next to Her. The star is
very powerful film.
Yeah, with Dana Ivgi, and we're happy to have her. We're presenting her with the 2014 IFF Cinematic Achievement Award.
Great.
You probably know that she received also Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress this year. Yeah. And this is very, very rare.
This is certainly her year.
Yeah, this is not just her year. I think that the biggest year that somebody can expect for an actor to get those 2 prizes is amazing. And we want to give her as much as we can. You know, we're still the Israel Film Festival, and not Cannes, but we want to give her as much as exposure in the city that she deserves to get exposure.
Yeah. Now, as you said, this was a wonderful year for Israeli cinema, and not just this year. I think in the last few years we've seen Israeli cinema doing very well. It must be easier now to bring people to the festival, and there must be more awareness.
It's never easy. Even you can say that, you know, we're all the the social media. It's always hard. It's always hard. Always you have to push and promote and put banners on buses, something new that we're doing now in Los Angeles. But it's exciting.
But is there more awareness nowadays?
There's more awareness. For Israeli film, there's no question. There's more awareness. Also, our opening night this year, we're honoring producer Arnon Milchan. That was our honorary chair for many, many years. And we are very proud to have him. Yeah. And we're honoring also Mace Newfield, producer, that just opened a film with Denzel Washington, The Equalizer. With
Any support from Jewish filmmakers, actors in LA?
We expect filmmakers, stars. I cannot tell you right now. It's a little bit kind of early, but on the red carpet, hopefully we'll have some
very familiar faces.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure. All right, now let's go back a few decades, because this is, as we said, the 28th. A few decades.
Decades, oh.
Yeah, to how it all started.
It started about almost 30 years ago. I was a student in Boston. As you probably know, I used to be in a rock band called Kaveret.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it too. Okay. And after we separate, I went to study in Berklee College of Music, and after a while, I said maybe I should, make a move and find something else exciting for me to build. I want to see kind of future to myself.
Right.
And I didn't see it. I was already 31 years old. I didn't see it in the music to start again where I'm going to put another kaveret. It's not going to happen. So I decided to start a film festival.
Did you imagine that 30 years later you'll still be doing
didn't even imagine that to go to New York. I didn't imagine. But what happened is in Boston, I did the first New England Israeli Film Festival.
Yeah.
In the first day, it was a four-day festival, 6 films. In the first day, a dentist came to me after the screening and said, "Listen, are you planning to put an ad in the Boston Globe that is like Yediot Achronot in Israel or the New York Times?"
The New York Times, yeah.
Right. So, and I said, not really, because it's very expensive. It's Sunday. And he said, "I want to pay for it. I want everybody in the city to know that there is an Israeli film festival here in Boston." I said, "Sure." He took an ad. On Saturday, it came out.
Yeah.
And Sunday, my last day of the festival, I had 5 screenings at the College Corner in Boston with 600 people.
Sold out.
See? All the screenings, so 3,000 people.
And back then, Israeli cinema was just a novelty.
Just starting with Eskimo Limon, Lemon Popsicle, and other films with Troop that I'm also acting. But it was some good films, but, it was nobody. People ask me, "What do you mean an Israeli film festival? Like, what is it?
What for?
Industry?"
Yeah.
I mean, no, it isn't. I think I heard about Casablanca, maybe one film, or Salah Shabati. That's it.
Yeah, the days of Golan Globus.
If you're talking about Golan Globus, we're doing a special tribute at a centerpiece at the Writers Guild in Los Angeles on October 30th, where we're doing kind of in the memory of Menachem Golan. We're showing the Go-Go Boys.
Yeah.
Have
Wonderful
you heard about the film?
We had the director here a few times.
Oh, okay.
Ila Medalia?
Yeah, she's coming also to the festival. She's going to be in the screening. And I'm very proud because I started, when I told you right now, Boston, the first person I came to his office was Menachem Golan. He gave me those first 2 films. So
Wonderful.
I'm very proud to, do an event for him.
Now you mentioned the Kaveret, of course, because you're the founder and director of a big festival. But back then in Israel, you were just Pugi, and from Pugi's stories, one can learn a thing or two, as we know. Do you miss those days?
Yeah, I don't miss those days. I'm very happy with what I'm doing right now. But always when the group is getting together, it's for me more than a night to remember, a week to remember. I mean, the concert that we had last year were amazing.
Yeah.
You cannot ask as a musician more than that. I mean, this was the highlights of, musically, the highlights of my life.
Now that after a few decades in the States, you've come back to Israel, think maybe...
I don't think maybe. I think whatever comes, I'm very happy. I know that I have to make things happen. That's what I learned in America, that you have to make it happen. You cannot sit and wait for somebody to call you. So if I want to do that, musically, I'll take that. But I'm more interested.
I'll sit and wait for you to do something.
Okay, I'll do that.
Meir Fenigstein, thank you so much for coming into the studio.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Now, we're only 2 months away from Christmas, and the holiday spirit can be felt practically everywhere. American artist Paul McCarthy has erected his interpretation of a Christmas tree in the streets of Paris, but not everyone was pleased. Sandy Fortis has the story.
A giant inflatable sculpture was installed in Place Vendôme in Paris. The green giant is a work of the artist Paul McCarthy, which was created especially for the contemporary art fair Beyond the Walls. Shortly after its installation, the pedestrians discovered modern art at its best.
It represents a Christmas tree, and it's this time of year, and it's in this kind of place where it becomes Christmas and festivities and everything. And then it has a shape that's reminiscent of an anal plug.
But not everyone was pleased with this work of art. The American artist was attacked by a man who hit him in the face, screaming that he is not French and that his work has no place on the site. Soon after, the tree reached the web, and herewith began the Pluggate scandal. The case crossed the borders of France. The sculpture by Paul McCarthy also took the foreign press by surprise. A night later, strangers attacked the erected tree. Several individuals unplugged the fan that filled the sculpture with air, then cut the cables that held it in place. The tree collapsed within minutes. Despite the strong reactions, particularly those of the Minister of Culture and the Mayor of Paris, Paul McCarthy gave up. He refused to put his work back. Case Pluggate is closed.
In a moment, we'll hear about a stand-up comedy show in Nazareth, but first our cultural recommendation of the day.
Henri Matisse, The Cutouts, presents 100 works from private and public collections around the world, accompanied by drawings, illustrations, stained glass and textiles. The pieces reflect the monumental work undertaken by Matisse near the end of his life. For these works, remarkably different from the art made during the rest of his career, the artist used a simple process. As he put it, he cut directly into the color using scissors. The compositions are striking by both the contrast of colors and the economy of means. In Icarus, the pins used are still visible, while in Blue Nude, you can admire the artist's perfectionism through the curvature of the thighs, obtained by the subtle addition of small pieces of paper. These collages by Matisse, long considered by critics as lacking in technique, are now newly appreciated. The exhibition Henri Matisse The Cutouts, taking place in New York, beat the attendance record for a single artist exhibition at the Tate Modern in London between April and September 2014, with more than 500,000 visitors.
Now Ranin Boulos is here. Hi Ranin.
Ahlan, how are you?
I'm doing great. You're gonna have, I'm expecting a joke at some point.
No, not from me, Oded, please.
We'll
but
see,
I'll tell
we'll
you.
see.
I'll tell you the story. Saturday, I went to Nazareth with I-24, and we filmed a very big comedy show, stand-up comedy show, as you can see, and it's Arab Israelis, Arab from Palestinian Arab from having Israeli citizenship. They did a very big comedy performance. 1,500 people arrived to Nazareth to watch them. It was, I think, something like 10 comedians. And
now we have to say this is stand-up comedy isn't as common within the Arab minority in Israel as it may be with other communities.
yes, not only comedy, but also all the arts for the Arabs in Israel. It's kind of limited.
Okay.
It's a lot politics, and because they're the minority. So yeah, but now recently it's something very new that started to develop. We can see many young artists, many young comedians doing comedian shows, and it's something that actually now developing, and also for women. There was one woman
In particular,
yeah, she was participating. She was very good. I was very happy. And when I asked them also about how come there was only one woman, and they said it's nothing, specific. There are many women, and they encourage that. We're gonna hear what one of the comedians said, and then we'll come back.
All right.
Unfortunately, the blue identity card is a very big obstacle, not only for me, but for all Arab artists here. I dream of performing in Syria and Lebanon, but unfortunately, having Israeli citizenship is a big obstacle. I hope one day that not only the Israeli blockade will go away, but all borders, and I can go to the Arab world without even needing a passport.
Yeah. So they are very limited in just the size of the crowd that they can
This is actually
perform
very interesting. I mean, Arab Palestinians inside of Israel, they suffer from many issues. And one of what we heard Adi Khalifa saying, that they're all very passionate about reaching to the Arab world, to perform in Lebanon, in Syria, in Iraq, to be free to go because, you know, it's Arabic language. They can, they have very many options that they don't have here in Israel.
Yeah. Now, what are the taboos? What are the things that you don't joke about?
That we don't, actually, that's, in this show, I was very, very impressed. Not impressed. It was nice to see that there was no. They talked about sex, and there was, and you know, self jokes and self observation. I didn't really see anything that was a taboo. They actually touched many issues, sensitive issues, within the Arab society.
If you have a joke, now's the time because we run out of time.
Please don't.
And I'm expecting one next week, Ranin.
I might lose my job. But
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you at home for joining us as well. Please do so again tomorrow.